So, welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. Today is match day and we have Manchester City this afternoon. Super Sunday. It's the late afternoon kickoff. I'll be doing a watch along on that on the channel. I will also be dropping my starting 11 reaction when the team is announced. Now, I did my preview last night. Anybody who wants to go and check that out who hasn't, that is the last video on the channel. Feel free to go and have an input, see what team I picked. Go and have a look, see how you think I think the game's going to go. And yeah, show some love on the video. That'd be great. It's a massive game for us. We've not been great at all this season. It's obviously ended with Unai Emery getting sacked and Freddie Ljungberg taking over as interim manager. The quest for the new manager continues. And last night, before I did my preview for the game, Arteta was odds-on favourite. Dear oh dear. But he's obviously coming to town today with Pep as Manchester City #2, and we've got to try and put a performance in and try and get a result today. The last couple of times we've played Man City, it's not been great, whether it be at home or away. I've been at them games and I've not seen us beat them at all. The last time we did beat them, I wasn't at the game, and Santi Cazorla was pulling the strings that day. That was absolutely fantastic from him. How we could do with somebody like that in midfield, which leads me nicely on to Thiago Alcantara, who is currently at Bayern Munich. He is linked with a move away. They're looking to offload him. He's only got about 18 months left on his current contract. 28 years old, and he's actually done all right since joining Bayern Munich. He's played really well since he's been there. This season he's played 13 Bundesliga games. He hasn't gotten a goal or assist this season, but he has been there for nearly 6 seasons now. 6.5 seasons he's been at Bayern Munich. Obviously he was at Barcelona before that, but we could possibly get this guy at a cut price fee because of the length of the contract he has left. Like I said, it expires in about 18 months time, June 2021. They might want to cash in now rather than letting him go into the last year of his contract. And for me, I think he's a very good player. He links to play well. He doesn't score enough goals. I don't think that's that's something I would look at and say, well, hang on, listen, you're an attacking midfielder, you don't score enough goals. Albeit that Bayern Munich, they tend to play with their wingers, they tend to play with Gnabry, Coman, they've got Lewandowski. They don't really need him to chip in with goals, really. They win the league at a canter pretty much every season. But if he was to come to the Premier League, i.e. at Arsenal, I'd expect him to chip in with goals, because as an attacking midfielder, if you play with that number 10 and Mesut Ozil type, a Santi Cazorla type player, for me, you've got to score goals. Otherwise, what's the point? Yes, it's great that you can create goals. I understand that. But it's not all about just creating. It's about, in the big moments of big games, your best players step up and score goals. And that's something that we haven't had for a very long time. Can this guy be the guy that turns that around? I'm not so sure. Listen, he's a very good footballer, very technically skilled, gifted. He can travel with the ball very well. He can put the ball through the lines. He tracks back. His work rate's kind of underestimated as well. I think he's a fantastic footballer. Can he do it in the Premier League? And that is something I've always asked of any player. I said this about Dani Ceballos, and so many people got on my case and said, you don't know what you're talking about Ceballos. But I know he's injured right now. He's due to be back next week, I think. But he hasn't really covered himself in glory. And that's the one worry I have about players that come from Spanish League or Bundesliga, is whether they can deal with the physicality and the intensity. Not just the intensity of how aggressive it is, but the intensity of how fast the game is. Obviously, in them leagues, it seems to be a little bit slower. And not a lot of players can get to grips with the Premier League very quickly. It's not often that a player can come and hit the ground running. Now, one player that did hit the ground running from the Bundesliga is our top goal scorer, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And he's been fantastic scoring goals. Unbelievable. He's been absolutely superb. Quickest to 50 in the Premier League. And that is pretty relentless. Quickest to 50 for Arsenal, obviously, before anyone corrects me on that. He's our 7th quickest to 50 overall in our history. Just think of some of the strikers we've had from the year we were founded until now. But can Thiago do that? It's a different position. It's a midfield position which requires a little bit more energy levels than a striker. Yes, the striker makes runs, but the midfielder should be up and down, going out wide every now and again, slotting the ball through the lines. Can Thiago be the guy if we want an attacking midfielder, and if we were going to play with an attacking midfielder, which I still do think is possibly a thing we could do. It depends what formation we play. In a 4-3-3, you could go with Martinelli, Pepe and Aubameyang. Then you could go midfield, Torreira, Guendouzi and Thiago. You could go Xhaka, Guendouzi, Xhaka, Torreira, whoever, whatever pairing you want in the base. But then at the top of that, you need to have somebody who's full of energy, has got good legs, that can get up and down, that can link the play out wide, not just forward. And when you've got that type of pace in front of you with Pepe, Aubameyang and Martinelli, even Bukayo Saka can be put in that, and Reece Nelson. When you've got that kind of pace, I expect you to be able to find them quite comfortably. If you've got this amazing vision as a number 10, I expect you to be able to be chipping in with assists, of course, but then making them forward runs into the box. Very reminiscent to how Aaron Ramsey used to do it. Getting into the box, driving forward, looking for the little knockdowns, looking for the little ricochets. And for me, I don't think Thiago scores enough goals, like I said. Can he do it in the Premier League? You let me know. Leave that in the comments section. The fee on this, I'd imagine, would be around the €30 million mark. So maybe, what, £27 million? He signed for them for £25 million. So they'll probably get their money back. I'd imagine they'd get their money back. I can't imagine it being more than that. If it is, then maybe look at another option, because I don't think with a year left on his contract, that's something that's viable, especially with him turning 29 in April, April coming. So for me, yeah, I'd take him at the right price. So let me know what you think down below. Let's move on to a player that we were linked to a couple of weeks back. He's actually in talks with Roma right now, and that is Chris Smalling. Now, obviously, he's a Man United player. When I did the video about Chris Smalling, I said I didn't want him. I stand by that now. I don't want him. I don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. He definitely weren't good enough for Man United back in the day, albeit that Fergie played him quite a lot as well. And listen, who am I to argue with Sir Alex Ferguson? But right now, I think Italy's probably the best move for him, and he is in talks with Roma. And I think that'll probably get done. I don't think that Man United would sell him to us either way, even if we wanted him. And let's be real, why would we want him? Why would we want him? Yes, our centre-backs are a shambles, but we've got Saliba coming in the summer. Go out and buy a proper centre-back this January, and then he comes in, he's got 6 months, 5 months under his belt before Saliba comes in. Then you forge a partnership. Tierney will be back, you then put Tierney in, and then you go and buy a proper right-back, because I don't think the right-backs we've got are any good. Then you start again. But let me know about Chris Smalling. Would you take him? Do you think he'll sign for Roma? Leave that in the comments section. And very quickly, I'm just going to talk about Mikel Arteta. Obviously, we've got the game this evening. He is the red-hot favourite right now to be the next Arsenal manager, which for me is just astonishing. I've seen a lot of people in the comments of the video I did about him yesterday saying, how do you know how he'll be? Well, I don't know how he'll be, but that's the thing. I'd rather go for somebody who I know how they would be. Somebody who's proven and got a proven track record of managing big-name players solely, not just being a number 2. Winning domestic trophies. So for me, I think that I'd rather go for somebody who's tried and tested rather than somebody who's just not tried and tested that could be good. Yes, it's always a risk, doesn't matter who the manager is. But either way, it's going to be a big game this afternoon. And we need to try and get a win if we can. Listen, they're not great, we're useless. So it probably end up being 5-4, something like that, I don't know. But listen, I will be doing a watch along for the game. So make sure you come and tune in for that. Subscribe to the channel, you won't miss anything, stick the notification bells on, and make sure, most importantly, you do that on your phone and allow notifications for YouTube, because about 3,000 of you have got notifications on for me and haven't switched them on for the phone. The other 7,000 have got them on for both, so you'll get notifications, hopefully, if YouTube pull their finger out, and the rest of you won't, because you've turned them off on your phone. So yeah, I'll be back later on with the starting 11 reaction about an hour before kickoff. Then I'll be doing the live watch along with Chig. Subscribe to him. His link is in the description. Then I'll be coming back and doing player ratings on the channel after I've done it on Chig's channel. So until later on, hopefully, fingers crossed, there is somebody watching over us today, and hopefully we don't get mugged off today at the Emirates. So until later on, when I do the starting 11 reaction, I'm out of here. Later.